Linus is in the house. If such an awe-inspiring universe exists, Reverend Safford asks, what song would come out of your mouth? What prayer, what praises, what sacred offering, what whirling dance? What reverential gesture would you make to greet that world every single day you were in it? One of our modern and maybe most well-known expressions of the experience of awe, I think, is that of astronauts who've been so privileged as to see Earth from space, and in that moment have immediately understood Earth to be a tiny, fragile ball of life hanging in a void. You've heard of the astronaut, have you, who, overcome with that astonishing view, in respect, removed their helmet? I understand the experience was breathtaking. But I'm bummed, right? Seriously, though, the experience of awe is much more important than we perhaps realize. The study of awe is a young science, only recently getting attention and funding. A young science. Isn't that a great turn of phrase? It implies that new worlds of understanding are opening up and that we all have something to learn all the time. And the initial evidence of this found in this young science is really quite stunning. Studies have found that brief doses of awe help our hearts, our immune systems, our stress levels, our reasoning, and even our relationships. It says that awe activates the vagus nerve and reduces inflammation. Awe has been found to create measurable drops in PTSD. And frontline workers tested during the COVID pandemic were found to experience reductions in anxiety and depression if they were able to find some moments of awe in their days. Regularly experiencing awe apparently helps us to be good cooperators, to be better at sharing and getting along with one another, and even more compassionate, which are all things that are really urgently needed for this moment. It's kind of a miracle drug, awe. So what exactly is it? Dr. Keltner, who's author of a recent book on awe, is a professor of psychology at UC Berkeley, and he's co-director of the Greater Good Science Center. His work in general looks at the field of well-being. And he defines awe as this. Awe is about vast things that transcend your understanding of the world, which you need to accommodate to your understanding of reality. Or, awe is the feeling that we have when we encounter vast and mysterious things. Awe, he says, takes us out of ourselves, brings us to think about what we're part of that's bigger than us. And looking at the world that way takes us away from being too self-absorbed and therefore much more aware of the world around us. Of course, it may be the subject of a young science, but awe is an ancient, universal human emotion. Homer spoke of awe as a passion that's aroused when one senses a great mystery or entity, or is in the presence of something that ought to remain inviolate, like a god or a sacred precept. Awe was recognized even then as a feeling that could help to keep citizens' behavior in line, whatever that might mean. But awe is powerful and ancient and obviously a useful experience. And we've heard two readings this morning that draw upon the experience of awe, both in the story and in the wisdom moment, both of which focused on our amazing universe. To encounter the universe might be expressed as an experience of the world of nature, or maybe as a concept that's just too immense to imagine, or maybe something that's spiritually contemplative. It could be that it's all of those things, which is why exploring the story of how we got here and looking at the story of the universe is so very awe-inspiring. It touches us in so many ways, and it's indeed the experience of being in the presence of something vast and mysterious, and we're in it every day. And Keltner, who says he's not a religious person, notes that during the first 2,000 years that humans have been writing and speaking about awe, it was primarily referenced as a religious experience. But that more recently there's been a democratization or a secularization of awe, moving the experience of awe beyond religious confines. One of our forefathers, Emerson, played a role in this, especially in his essay, Nature, where he wrote, "Standing on the bare ground, my head bathed by the blithe air and uplifted into infinite space, the undercurrents of the universal being circulate through me." Simply standing on bare ground out in nature to feel one is part of all that is. We stand on the bare ground and can experience awe. Now you might think that given all the urgencies that are all around us, seeking experiences of awe is an exercise in turning away or sticking one's head in the sand. Or maybe because there are such difficult realities demanding our attention, turning to awe is just a form of avoidance. I get that. I mean, it is no exaggeration to say that for many of us, life is really hard right now. And it would seem that there are much more important things to pay attention to than awe. But I'm also thinking that it might be that getting some doses of awe is more of an exercise in self-care and building resilience, maybe making the path we need to walk just a bit easier, maybe bringing some much needed joy and comfort to our weary souls and bodies. I mean, what if regular doses of awe really do improve our health, our outlook, our relationships, our ability to engage in community? I mean, what if we simply noticed those moments and opened ourselves to them and to the change they can bring in increasing our gratitude and our general sense of well-being? My sense is that there are possibilities for all around us all the time, even in times of real darkness. Keltner led a 3-year research project called Project Awe, and in that study he identified 8 wonders of life that evoke awe. 8 wonders of life. The moral beauty of people, nature, collective effervescence or moving in unison with others, art and visual design, music, spiritual contemplation, big ideas or epiphanies, and life and death itself. I'm going to give you that list again. 8 things that might bring us a feeling of awe: moral beauty, nature, collective effervescence, art, music, spiritual contemplation, big ideas, and life and death. You know, if you think about it, all those things are available to you right here, right now, in this community. Take, for example, the moral beauty of people. UUs have long been inspired, in the words of the sources, by the prophetic words and deeds of people which challenge us to confront powers and structures of evil with justice, compassion, and the transforming power of love. We experience awe and inspiration when we witness others who overcome obstacles, who stand up for injustice, who put themselves on the line for love. And inspiring, awesome people are all around you here. And one of the deepest ways to find meaningful lives is to surround ourselves with the moral beauty of people. You help us to understand what it is that we really care about and how we want to spend our days. And another source of awe is collective effervescence. That is moving in unison with others, singing together, dancing together, celebrating together. I certainly experienced that during the solstice celebrations this weekend. Collective effervescence, and I'm sure many of you did too. And I have to say that actually for me, anytime we sing together is an experience of awe. It often brings me to tears. And here too, there is visual art and music and big ideas. And of course, the experience of sharing human existence, this period of time between birth and death, as well as the opportunity to contemplate life's meaning together. Awe is all around us, it's accessible to us. The question is how to put more of it into our daily lives. And Keltner says it takes an awe mindset, a willingness to pause and to think about big things. You have to continually be practicing it, because he says one hit is not enough. We have to make it part of our days. The challenge is to build those feelings into our lives, and again, I think that's a big part of why we show up together in community, even if we've not identified that it is the experience of awe that's drawing us into community. Coming here is a way to build awe into our lives. I'm just going to go back to the universe for a moment. In his book, The Hidden Heart of the Cosmos, Brian Swimme bemoans the fact that even in religious gatherings, even while reflecting on our relationships with what some might call sacred or divine, only rarely do we seriously contemplate the big questions within the context of the actual awesome universe. And very much like Keltner, Swimme suggests we have to reorient ourselves in such a way as to take notice. He wants us to encounter awe every day, at least for a moment or two. And to do this, Swimme imagines another kind of reorientation, which is to alter a basic paradigm that's been entrenched in us for millions of years. We usually assume that as we stand on the earth, we look up at the stars. And our cultural coding has further strengthened that up-down orientation by talking about heaven as up and the earth as below. So I'm just going to take you on a brief guided meditation, if you'd like, using Swimme's words to illustrate how changing our orientation can open us to awe. So just sit comfortably, close your eyes if you'd like. And imagine that we, at a warmer time of year, have gone out together to a park, far from the city lights. We have with us blankets and thermoses, and as soon as night falls, we lie together on our backs in the dark, and we behold above us the path of milky light that runs from the horizon on one side, clear through the great vault of the heavens, all the way down to the horizon on the other side. And now, as you lie there, aware of the heavens, imagine the earth floating in space. But instead of picturing where you lie as on the top part of the earth with you looking up, reorient the picture in your mind so that you're positioned on the bottom of the earth. And as you lie there, imagine yourself peering down into the great chasm of the night sky. Just take a moment to try to reorient that picture. Experience the stars as down below, far, far below. And when you get it, notice with amazement that you and all of us lying there with you have not fallen down to join those stars. We're hovering in space, gazing down into the vault of the stars, able to be suspended there because of our bond with the earth. Feel Earth's gravitational power holding you. Lying there, feel the strength of that bond in your shoulders and all along your back and buttocks and legs. The earth is holding you. suspended above the stars. Peer down into the billions of stars drifting in the infinite chasm of space, and allow yourself to just be part of the universe. You have entered a relationship from a galactic perspective, says Swim, becoming for a moment a felt part of the Milky Way galaxy, itself spinning through space. So just take a moment longer to hang in this cosmological relationship, feeling both the power of the universe and your connection to it. And then slowly come back to this room in time. Did you feel awe? For a brief moment even? Swim believes that such moments of awe and connection can align our energies with the creative and restorative and healing movement of the universe. But as I've said, there are so many more opportunities for awe, many of them in the simplest part of our days. In this season, especially in this season, we can experience stillness, quiet, the presence of winter. I love these words shared at the solstice celebration: to walk crunchingly during a silent evening's gentle snowfall, to see the bright sun turn a white hillside incandescent, to behold the delicate pastels of a winter sunset. Each is a moment of magic. The gifts of the natural world surround us: glittery snow, crisp starry nights, and when we can look out at Andromeda, which is about at the middle of our winter night sky, and realize that photons of light reaching us left that galactic center when giant woolly mammoths were roaming North America. Then we can realize that we are living in the midst of immensities, and that we are woven into a great cosmic and awesome drama. And perhaps in noticing our place in this vast and mysterious universe, while experiencing a sense of oneness with all that is, and especially here in the company of others, we can take off our helmets of self, release for a moment all of our to-do lists, and just stand breathless in awe. May it be so for each of us.